everyone, Bond here from Dr. Pennsylvania. Today we have past periodical number 18. This one comes from the Lewistown Gazette. Lewistown is the seat of Mifflin County. This one comes from October 23rd, 1867. We're actually going to be reading a few articles today. Once we started looking at this day's paper, we were like, wow, there's a lot going on here. So we figured we'd share it with you all. The first headline simply reads, Snake in a Boy's Stomach.
A snake in a boy's stomach. A boy aged 8 years, son of Benjamin Whistler, residing in Mifflin Township, a short distance from Newville, Cumberland County, has been seriously afflicted for some time past on account of having a living snake in his stomach. The presence of the young reptile was discovered about 2 years ago, and by a rapid growth it has attained a size that renders it very painful to the boy. 13 physicians assembled at the family residence last week and held a consultation, when it was decided that the only manner in which the reptile could be removed was by cutting open the stomach of the sufferer. The boy has not taken any food except sweetmeats and new milk for more than a year past, and has a horror of everything else in the shape of nourishment. The case is a very singular one, and may be considered by many in the light of a snake story, but we assure our readers that the facts above stated are strictly true.
For the next block of the paper, the headline reads, A General Massacre.
A general massacre of the fibers of the head, the whiskers, the mustaches, or the beard can be easily accomplished by the application of scorching hair dyes, and when every hair is killed dead, the parties deceived by these nostrums will regret too late that they did not use the wonderful, entirely poisonless preparation which, in 5 minutes, produces a black or brown which is not surpassed by nature's own hue. Be wise in time. The only safe and sure article is Cristodoro's hair dye, manufactured by J. Cristodoro, 68 Maiden Lane, New York, sold by all druggists, applied by all hairdressers.
Okay, so this last one is a letter to the editor. It is being written by an A.A. MacDonald. So even though it is written as a letter to the editor, as you read this, I think you will find it sounds much more like an advertisement to move to this Piedmont area, rather than just someone who's genuinely concerned for the well-being of his friends and family in Mifflin County.
Mr. Editor, a recent immigrant to Virginia, I feel myself so thoroughly pleased with the country that I cannot forbear addressing, through your valuable paper, a few words to my old friends and acquaintances in the Little Mifflin, relative to the inducements now offered to Pennsylvanians to immigrate to this state, and more especially to that particular part lying between the Tidewater line and the Blue Ridge, known far and wide as the Piedmont region, a section of country unsurpassed for the variety and productiveness of its soil, the beauty of its scenery, and the hospitality of its people. And just here let me say that, travel where he may, a northern man will nowhere meet with a more cordial welcome than is extended by the Piedmontese of Virginia, known to be a Republican and almost always introduced as a Yankee lieutenant. I have never been more kindly received or more hospitably entertained than by these people, and strange as it may seem, those who fought hardest, suffered most, and reaped the least reward are the most friendly now. I have since coming here repeatedly met men with whom we have had many a long and bloody encounter, and to a man, after a short talk about matters and things, they say, "Well, you whipped us fairly, sure enough, so let us be friends," and thereupon we strike hands and in future ignore all differences. stretching from the Blue Ridge eastward, an average distance of 80 miles with numberless streams on their way and the mountains to the sea, irrigating and beautifying it and possessing climate excelled by none, and a fertility of soil almost incredible, a gradual slope toward the southeast, offering all varieties, high and low, rolling and level, cleared and wooded lands, lies the Piedmont region of Virginia, the home of Madison, Monroe, and Jefferson, the seat of learning and refinement, the pride of the Old Dominion. The large planters, left moneyless and disheartened by the war, are anxious to sell their lands and offer them at prices merely nominal when all things are fairly considered. Farms which are cleared and in cultivation, yielding average crops from 20 to 30 bushels of wheat and from 40 to 60 bushels of corn per acre, oats, grass, etc., in proportion with southeastern exposure, well watered by running streams, lying in a country adjacent to the best markets, with abundant rail and water transportation, where fevers and epidemics are unknown, churches and schools plentifully abound, and the best society exists, are certainly nominal in price when offered from $10 to $40 per acre, varying with location and improvements. For fruit and grapes it is unsurpassed, and finer apples and peaches are not to be found than grown here. What do you think of the apples weighing in at £1.50? And one was presented to a brother editor of yours in Charlottesville, weighing 28 ounces. The climate is so mild that stock needs little or no shelter and requires to be fed but 3 months in the year in the severest winters, while farmers are able to work their lands an average of 10 months in the year and can consequently do a great deal more work than with the same teams than in Pennsylvania. Why any one of you should go off far west when this country offers all the inducements in the shape of cheap lands which are offered there without any of the serious drawbacks: thin population, 10-mile neighbors, Indians, lack of wood, schools, churches, and public improvements? I can't understand, unless it is that they don't know of or can't appreciate the